I, Mandvi Sharma, welcome you on behalf of Guru KPO. Today the topic of my lecture is residential status of individual and incidence of income tax. Now my topic will be, the relevant previous year will be 2013-14 and assessment year is 2014-15. So I'll be discussing everything in terms of 2013 and 14. Now due to globalization of economy and movement of talent from one place to another, every country wants to tax SSC for the income earned from sources within those countries. So here the importance of residential status becomes very important, and it becomes a key basis element in determining the residential status and deciding the incidence of tax. Now what is incidence of tax? Incidence of tax means that whether any income will be taxable, whether any income or foreign income or individual income will be taxable in India or not. Now for this, Income Tax Act has given us two types of condition. First is basic condition and second is additional condition. So on the basis of these conditions, we will be able to determine the residential status of an individual. Now let's see what are the basic conditions. Basic condition: an individual, if he is staying in the relevant previous year, that is 2013-14, in India for a period of 182 days or more, or if he is in India for a period of 60 days or more, plus he is in India for 365 days or more, in 4 years immediately preceding the relevant previous year, then he'll become the resident in India. Now these are the basic conditions which we need to check before going ahead with the ROR and RNOR status. Now after checking these conditions, we'll move on to the additional condition. An individual needs to satisfy any one of these conditions to become resident in India. Now for knowing these conditions, for knowing whether that individual is ROR or RNOR, we need to check the additional conditions which the Income Tax Act has given us. Now what are the additional conditions? First is residential status in India for at least, that individual should be resident in India for at least 2 years out of 10 years immediately preceding the relevant previous year, and he should be in India for the period of 730 days or more in 7 years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. Now if that individual is satisfying both the condition, he'll become resident and ordinary resident, and if that individual is satisfying any one of the condition, he'll become resident but not ordinary resident, or if he is not satisfying any of the conditions, he'll become resident but not ordinary resident in India. Now after understanding the basic conditions and additional conditions, let's go through the exceptions to the basic conditions. We have 3 categories of persons for whom that 182 day condition is only applicable. That means that 60 days condition is not applicable in these 3 categories. First is if an Indian citizen leaves India as a crew member of an Indian ship. Second, if an Indian citizen leaves India for the purpose of employment, and we are talking about relevant previous year, if he is leaving India in the relevant previous year. Third, if an Indian citizen, a person of Indian origin, comes to India on a visit, then for these 3 categories of people, that 60 days condition is not relevant, 182 days condition will be checked. Now we can have 2 types of residential status. One is resident, other is non-resident. And resident, if a person is resident, we can further classify it into ROR and RNOR depending upon the additional conditions which Income Tax Act has given us. Now the points which we need to remember is, individual can have different residential status for different year. Second, individual can be resident in India as well as in any other country. And the third, India includes territorial water. So if a person is on the yacht, he will be considered that he is in India.